County Public Works Procurement and Contracting Committee meeting for Wednesday, May 1st, 2019. We'll call to order. Roll call. Madam Clerk.
Calling the roll, Mr. Tuma.
Here.
Mr. Miller.
Here.
Ms. Conwell. Ms. Conwell is absent at the moment. Mr. Schrein.
Here.
Ms. Baker.
Here.
There is a quorum.
Okay, thank you. Is there any public comment this morning?
No, Mr. Chair, no one has signed in.
Okay. And if I could have approval of minutes from the April 17th, 2019 meeting?
So moved.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. The ayes have it. And Madam Clerk, if I could have the first matter referred to committee meeting.
Resolution number 2019-0108, declaring that public convenience and welfare requires replacement of Jefferson Avenue Bridge number 00.57 between West 3rd Street and the Cuyahoga River in the city of Cleveland.
Okay, and if you could just state your name for the record.
Nicole English with Public Works.
Okay, and what is this ordinance or resolution regarding?
So this is asking for public welfare and convenience, which is our first step when we start a project. And the bridge is Jefferson Avenue Bridge in the city of Cleveland. It's near West 3rd Street and really leads to St. Mary's Cement Terminal, which is the major user of the bridge. Years ago, we believe Jefferson used to go over the Cuyahoga River. That bridge has been closed, so this is kind of a strange bridge that serves not very many people, but it does meet the criteria for a county bridge at this time, and it is in need of repair. It's currently load limited, and so it only has one directional traffic on it. We've been working for a little bit to try to figure out a strategic way to fix it in order to keep the users able to get to their locations. So you'll see this job will move quickly, more quickly than normal, because we took a lot of pre-time to try to figure out how much it's going to cost in order to get it moving. So it's got a $3 million construction cost estimate. The right-of-way is what's going to cost us, because if we put St. Mary's out for a short time, we're going to have to pay them for their being closed for a few months. So that'll be likely another $500,000 or so cost onto the project later on that you'll see. And we would anticipate working on this through this year and constructing early 2020.
Okay, any questions from my colleagues?
Yes.
Mr. Miller?
What do you anticipate the funding sources to be for this?
This is likely all of us. So all county road and bridge. It's not, we can't wait for CAO. It could score on CAO, but the next round of CAO funding is 2026. So we just can't wait that long. It's deteriorating pretty quick. And the amount of traffic is very minimal, so it won't score on issue one. So this is likely just a county road and bridge. And because it's a county bridge, the city has no share.
Are there any options to spending $3 million on a bridge that gets very little traffic?
We looked at eliminating the bridge completely in trying to do an accurate, there's a railroad, it's going over the railroad. So the problem is the railroads don't really like to budge to give you a new at-grade crossing. We explored.
That's for sure.
Right.
I know how they are, yeah.
We explored that option first because we thought that was probably a better solution. But the railroad just isn't even interested in talking about it. And so our idea is to fix the bridge and then transfer it back to Cleveland, vacate this area of Jefferson Avenue and give it back to Cleveland, so then forego, in the future, it's Cleveland's to maintain, because it no longer really makes a connection because that bridge on the river is gone. So Jefferson sort of dead ends into the river. And, but the problem is, we've seen this on other cases, that until we didn't vacate it yet, so it is our structure and we need to fix it.
So is Cleveland going to be willing to take it?
I think once we build them a new $3 million bridge, they will be.
There you go.
Okay.
So I think we can prove that it's, the street is not shouldn't meet a county road anymore now that it's cut off. But unfortunately, this is where we're at. About 10 years ago, Cleveland and our bridge inspection department went around and, lucky for us, uncovered other county bridges that we weren't aware of. This is one of them, which is why it's in such bad shape, is that it wasn't on our inventory up to that point, and now we're stuck with it. By law, it's a county bridge still.
Okay, thank you.
So, what does St. Mary's do?
Cement. So they're one of only a couple companies in the world that do cement. And so they do have an operation a little bit further up the river that we've been talking to them up front about sort of what they can do if we put them out of business for a certain time. They've told us where their low period is and how they could probably transfer some of their other work at the other plant, but they have to beef it up because this is the bigger plant. So we've been in communication with them. Of course, until you actually start talking numbers, they seem, willing to talk right now, but when we get into the right of way, we'll see what the cost will be.
I gotta watch the family theater.
But they
Do
do
they,
supply.
do they recognize the need that this bridge needs to be fixed?
Oh, yeah. I mean, because they're already down to one lane. But I mean, their operation isn't too bad that they can wait for each other because it's only trucks. But they certainly can't have the bridge falling down or being closed. I mean, that would shut them off completely. So I think that's why they're being so willing, because they need the bridge.
Okay. All right. Ms. Conwell's joined us, and she has a question.
Through the chair to Ms. English, how long will the bridge last once completed? How long do bridges last?
We've been building them now. We're saying 75 years is our target time. So this one with so few so little traffic, this should last a while. That's why I think once we get it in new, that Cleveland shouldn't have too much of a heartache of taking it.
And will that process start with Cleveland? When will we do that process?
So once
for them to take
we finish the bridge, we would go through a process to vacate the road, which, if
have
you
to
remember the
finish the
last,
bridge
yeah, finish the bridge first. The last few, we've been vacating that little portion of Warrensville and how long that took. It had to have so many council meetings and a visit, and so it's a little bit lengthy of a process after that. So it's probably 6 months after we
Are
build
they
it, we'll start.
aware?
We've talked about it, yeah.
Okay, and when we maintain the bridge, will we inspect it in any way? Because I know we're charged with inspecting bridges, even though we won't own it.
Yeah, so Cleveland has actually a contract with us to inspect their bridges, so I would guess that this would end up on that list of the ones that we
I
inspect
didn't
for
know
them.
that. Okay, and I'd like to add my name. Thank you.
All right. Ms. Conwell would like to add her name to this. Any other questions or comments?
Can we
Okay.
get my name on the bridge?
All right. Maybe in 70 years. So you're looking to move this along because you want to start early 2020. So what's the time frame?
Yeah,
on
it'd
this
be
thing?
nice if we could get this approved on second reading suspension, because we're gonna be following right up with the right-of-way plan, so that we can start talking to St. Mary's with acquisition and some serious right-of-way talk. So if this could go second reading. we
Okay, I'll make that
appreciate it.
motion or second reading suspension. We have a motion and a second reading suspension. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Ayes have it.
Can you send us a picture of that bridge?
Sure.
For me?
Okay.
Please.
Ms. Conwell likes that bridge. No.
Where West Third is, but I do not.
Okay,
Yeah, you've probably never even, because you'd never have a reason to go down it.
right. Okay. Madam Clerk, could you read the next resolution, please?
Resolution number 2019-0109, making an award on requisition number 44770 to Fabrizi Recycling in the amount not to exceed $2,747,725 for the 2019 sewer repair program.
Okay, and if we could just have an explanation as to this resolution?
Nicole English with Public Works again. So this is our annual sewer repair contract. So this complements our sanitary department out in the field. And so this is for items that are bigger than what we can do, and then we call them on an as-needed basis. There was 9 bids pulled and 3 submitted for review. There is diversity goals that were set and have been met by the contractor. The engineer's estimate is 3.5 million, so this is about 21% below the engineer's estimate. So we think we're getting pretty good pricing, and this would be a 2-year contract. But most of the time, we sell these about every 15 to 18 months. So even though it's a 2-year length, we are sort of running through them in about a year and a half or so.
Okay,
And it gets paid back through sewer district fees, depending on where we use the services, whatever city we use them in, their fees pay back the contract.
okay. And you said it was 21% below?
Correct.
The engineer's estimate? Why was the engineer's estimate so high?
This is kind of it's not a real specific project. So what you put on here is different types of work, and then we estimate quantities. So it just must have happened that on certain types of work, they are a little bit lower on the cost than we thought. And we use the last year's project as a base, and then put some inflation on it. So they must have come in a little bit lower than even last year, so that's good.
Okay, yeah, I'm not gonna complain about a lower fee. Any questions from my colleagues?
Yes.
Mr. Miller?
Given that we seem to have gotten very attractive pricing on this, is there any merit in trying to see if we could get a little longer contract?
Ms. English?
I think the 2-year window is pretty good. Our sanitary guys do like to revisit depending on, if they're getting good service. It's just, this seems to go back and forth between a couple different contractors to spread it around a little bit. So that's why they look at the 2-year period. So I think that's what they would like, to do it in 2 years.
Okay.
Okay, Ms. Baker?
Thanks. Have the sewer districts been identified as to where the problems are, or is this something where it's on the come?
Yeah, it's more of an on-call. There's certain projects that have been identified, smaller projects that they will know what they're using them for.
Okay.
But in general, this is sort of those on-call, there's a problem, there's a break, we have a leak, and it's a little bigger than we can handle, let's call in the repair contract. So it's not necessarily, which is why you don't see
Right.
a breakdown of where the fees are going, because we don't really know until we start using it.
Thank you.
Okay, any other questions? With that, what timeframe are we looking for on moving this through? I
We
see
showed
the-
June 1 as a start date, so
Okay,
this
June
is
1st.
fine to go, right?
Today is the 1st.
Yeah. Yeah, we still have 2 meetings in May, so we're good. 3 readings are fine.
Okay, so 3 readings are okay. Okay, and can I have a motion for, what am I motion? To move this to second reading, okay. No,
No,
she
it's
doesn't want to
fine.
suspend, just second reading, okay. So I have a motion and a second for second reading, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay, ayes have it, okay.
Can I ask one more question on that?
Sure.
So to the chair, to know Nicole English, sewer repair program, so it's covering all our sewers that we're responsible for, or only a certain?
It covers any of the cities that have an agreement with us, so that we do work by agreement in the cities. And so any of those cities that we're doing work in, we can use this contract
That's
for.
quite a few, isn't it?
Yeah, I think we're up to 40, 41. Mike Chambers is our guy on that. He keeps the number in his head, but it's right around there,
Thank you.
plus Lorraine County.
Okay, Madam Clerk, the next resolution, please.
Resolution number 2019-0110, making an award on requisition number 44816 to C&K Industrial Services in the amount not to exceed $2,187,597.60 for cleaning and televising sanitary sewers.
Nicole English again with Public Works. This is similar to what we just talked about, but this is for cleaning and televising. So where our work staff doesn't have the capability, if it's a bigger sewer we need or a certain camera that we don't have, we call these guys in to use. The same thing in any city that we work in, it gets billed back to their user fees. This was an engineer's estimate of $3 million, again, based on unit cost and our just estimated quantities of how we would use it. It came in 27% under the bid, and there was 9 bids pulled and 3 submitted. And there's a diversity goal that was set, and that has been met by the contractor. So this is another 2-year contract, very similar to what we just did, just different services.
Okay, any questions on this?
Through the
Okay.
chair to Nicole, so $3 million, we don't give that right out to them. As they
No.
do the work, they invoice us, right?
Correct.
Is that the one for the previous one?
Same
too?
thing, right. So the way it works is we call them if we have a task that we need, they give us an estimate of cost, then they bill us afterwards on time and material and what it costs, and we pay them that way.
Mr. Schron?
Though it's not directly related to looking at the sewer, our sewer bills and costs are going up based on, there's a correlation between the water consumption and water usage that goes through systems.
So that's what you pay to the sewer district
Right, I
normally,
understand that.
right? So the way this program is funded is, most cities, it could be on your tax duplicate that you're paying, the city has an extra sanitary charge that comes to this. Now, some cities have a levy or they have a general fund that pays for it, and that's how they use their sewer district fund. So each city is a little bit different as to how they pay for this. And you'll see we set the rates once a year. Is that correct, Anka? You'll see, we put legislation through that sets the sewer district rates for all the different cities that we work for. And so that's separate from what the sewer district is charging you.
Right.
So this is
but
based on front
But this
foot.
is a surveillance type system that we're looking at, leaks and breaks and things of that nature. One of the
Right.
things that's growing and the problem in this county and problem within the city is the amount of water leakage coming out of the city of Cleveland's water. That directly relates to the bill price because it's based on the consumption of water, not based on the consumption of sewer,
Right.
which is kind of,
Backwards, yeah.
yeah, well, I would use a different word, but it is backwards. And so we and all of our taxpayers throughout this county are paying an exorbitant fee for sewer usage based on leakage of water, which is crazy that the city of Cleveland, can we use any of these services to actually help identify the amount of water? Because someday the media is gonna pick up on this and actually run an article that says, wait a minute, 20% of the water going through city of Cleveland is just being leaked into the ground. It's not even going to a consumer. It's not being used, it's not going through the sewer, it's not going through anything. And as a result, everybody is paying probably 15-20% more in their sewer bills, in their water bills, because our partner can't get it right.
So unfortunately, Cleveland's not one of our member cities.
No, I understand
So
that, but-
we don't do the work for them. But we do look at that problem in the cities that we have.
Our partner is
So-
the sewer, though, is what I meant by that.
Right.
The sewer district is a partner, and we're being charged, our consumers, our constituents are being charged based on some arbitrary billing that they're getting from the water department, which is way out, which is based on all this leakage that's going on. And I wish our environmentalists would actually get on this one, because, matter of fact, I would actually suggest that our committee actually look at this, at the amount of waste in water. It's more than exceeding any of the pollution that we're talking about anyplace else.
Yeah, I think the nature of this old system, and that's what you're having, and they're not necessarily fixing it all.
Right.
But yeah, we do, if there's an issue in some of our cities that they want us to look at, we can use this type of operation. It's just Cleveland is not one of our member cities, and so we don't work on their,
No, but we don't know where, but the Cleveland water goes to our member cities also, many.
Yes.
And we don't know where the Cleveland water is leaking from. At least it's not
if
clearly
there's
identified.
problems that we find in our member cities, we can use, they have water funds that we can use to look into it.
We can
and help
use the
them.
same
Yes.
system to look at the
Yeah.
water and the sewer. Okay,
Correct.
that's where I'm going with
Correct.
it.
Just not in Cleveland. But in our cities, yes.
But the water lines
Yeah.
are considered to be Cleveland water lines that they go out to the suburbs and all.
Sure.
We don't actually know where the leaks are taking place.
Sure.
Okay.
No, it's a big can of worms. I'm on a well and I have a septic tank, so
He's not really affected. And this can go, yeah, this can go through readings. That's fine. It's again set to start on June 1st.
Okay, so I'll make a motion for second reading.
Do you wanna bring somebody in before we pass it? We have enough time.
Well,
I mean, just as, it's probably a separate issue that we can
It's- I
talk
was gonna say it's kind
about,
of a
because it's not
separate,
really
yeah,
related to this
to this
contract, but
particular
it's
thing.
in
Right.
general.
So we-
Dave
and we could
Marquardt, the
still
county
list-
engineer, would be the one to
yeah,
probably
we
talk
could
more
still
about
bring
it.
somebody in to discuss that on a, just a separate thing, but, which we can do.
Yep.
But I'll make a motion for second reading on this to move this legislation along. Right. We have a motion and a second, for second reading. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. Ayes have it. And the final resolution here.
Resolution number 2019-0111, approving right-of-way plans as set forth in plat number M-5034 for replacement of Memphis Road Bridge number 00.62 over CSXT Railroad in the city of Brooklyn.
Okay.
Nicole English again with Public Works. So this is where we approve the right-of-way plans. This project has already been started. We have welfare and convenience on it. We've been working on design. This is Memphis Road Bridge over CSX, which you might realize it's next to the Kitty Park over there. That's sort of the most recognizable feature. And we are ready to start the right-of-way acquisition. There's 5 owners of 5 pieces of parcels, one of which is the Kitty Park. The city of Brooklyn is another one. The estimated cost of the right-of-way is is going to be $200,000, which is road and bridge funding. However, the project itself has 80% federal funds through CEAO. But the right-of-way is not eligible for that. So this is our first step to get the right-of-way approved so that we then can start making offers to the owners.
Okay, so the overall budget of that project is, you said 80,
The overall funding is 80% federal,
okay,
and I want to say we have about 10% issue one that we have, and 10% is the county. However, the right-of-way is 100% county, which is estimated to cost $200,000, is what we'd be paying the owners for their property that we're taking.
okay, I'm sorry, I was a little distracted. So, the road and bridge funding, you said for the right-of-way is
200,000.
200,000, okay, all right. And this is, so, is the kitty park gonna be okay?
They are.
Okay.
Luckily, they're
There's reasons I asked.
historic because they actually have their train tracks are within the right of way. So
don't
if it
belong to
wasn't a
CSX, do they?
historic,
Yeah, no.
if it wasn't a historic park, ODOT could tell us that we have to take them up. But because they're historic, they're protected.
Okay.
So we're working with them. We just had a meeting out with them last week to talk through. We staked their right of way so they understand where it's at. They may have to shut the train down for a short time, but we're going to try to time the work so that it's in the winter. But they will remain, and they seem pretty happy with the project.
Okay, all right. Any questions from my colleagues?
Wanted to
Okay, we
follow
have,
up. You stated, through the chair to note, Ms. English, you stated 80% federal funds, but then you said we're not eligible for it.
So
Do I understand?
the construction of the project has 80% federal funds, but the right-of-way is only county.
right,
So we typically, CEA only provides the construction funding, we provide the design funds and the right-of-way funds.
Okay, and that is what's gonna cost the 200,000?
Yes, correct.
Thank you.
okay. Mr. Miller?
So, getting back to the kiddie park, what exactly are we gonna have to take from them?
So there's some property that's, I forget my direction, closer to the CSX tracks. We're moving some utilities, so it's really not property that they use, it's more on the slope right now. And we're taking, their one old sign is gonna come out, but they said it's the one that, I think talks about the mini golf that they said they don't even really use anymore, so they were fine with that. But otherwise, they'll be maintained. Even their fencing is able to stay in the train tracks.
And I'm looking at the substitute, and the substitute deletes language about special assessments being not required. So why is that language being deleted? Are we using special assessments on this project?
No, we're not,
I
but
think this is just a clarification. I think this language belongs to, was inadvertently included in this resolution. This includes usually welfare and convenience, and this is obviously not that. So it's just a clarification.
Yes, it was included in the previous resolution that approved welfare and
Oh, okay.
convenience, so it's just taking it out.
I understand,
so we don't need it here also.
okay.
That's all. Yeah, no
Okay.
special assessments are being levied.
So, I'll make a motion to accept the substitute as the working version.
Okay, we have a motion to accept the substitute and a second. All those in favor of accepting the substitute resolution, say aye.
Hi.
Opposed, nay, and the ayes have it. And I see Ms. Baker has a question.
Just one point of clarification. On the proposed substitute, it says the current estimated project cost is $500,000. So is that 200? It doesn't, and it says it'll be funded by county road and bridge funds.
Do you have, I don't have the substitute in front of me, I'm sorry.
It's the same language as in the original resolution, where the
It's not crossed
estimated
out.
cost is 500, so that was not revised. So if you think that we're at 200, maybe we should revise it, but that was the information that was provided.
Yeah, my briefing has 200,000, but
Yeah, this has 500, the one we have. Yeah, it is a good catch. So I will make a
we
substitute.
change it to 200.
Also, if I may, it says it
Well,
will be
before we do
funded
that-
by county road and bridge funds, and we're talking about 80%, unless this is just the right-of-way we're
Yes,
talking
this is
about.
just the right of way. So this is going to be county road and bridge. You'll see when we actually award the construction contract, you'll see the 80% of federal funds. So this item is just talking about the right of way piece.
Okay.
So I think we can substitute to 200,000. I mean, again, it's an estimate. We have to find little appraisals, but that's our best estimate right
The
now.
motion to substitute the or delete the 500,000 and add $200,000.
Okay, so we have a motion to strike the 500,000 and add 200,000 as the funding. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Ayes have it. Okay, we see the inherent dangers of cut and paste. No, yes, resubstitute.
Sorry about that.
Okay, I think we have that all. There's nothing nefarious here. I think we have it all figured out. Okay. With that, are there any other questions or any other, Mr. Miller?
The funding for the project itself is,
80 federal, 10% issue one, and 10% us, County Road and Bridge.
so, the current substitute says the current estimated project cost is 200,000 and will be funded by county road and bridge funds.
Yeah, I guess that's referring to the current action, so it gets a little
But
confusing.
that's not
when we
what it
put in.
says.
Yeah, I don't know how we should write the resolution differently. What do you think, Law?
If you would like to clarify that the property acquisition
Maybe we should
is
say the
estimated
current.
at 200,000.
Chairman, could I suggest perhaps that we could go forward with this and then correct it by the time we get it to the floor?
Yeah.
With the language, so that you folks in the legal department have dusted it off and you're comfortable with it?
Yeah,
Thank
that
you.
makes
We can
sense
do
to me.
that.
These are
It
more
does.
clerical
It's
than
technical.
substantive.
Yes.
So, okay, but thanks, I appreciate you guys all bringing this up. Obviously,
Yes.
this is, should be corrected. So that's what we'll do. We'll again, the time on this, what's the timing on this, just so we know?
We'd appreciate second reading suspension just to get started, because they're ready to go.
Okay, so I'll make a motion for second reading suspension and with the understanding that
We'll fix it.
we'll expect the corrections at our meeting. So I have a motion and a second for second reading suspension on R 2019-0111. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay? The ayes have it. Okay, is there any other miscellaneous business from the committee? And I do, Mr. Schron brought that up with the sewer district and Cleveland Water. I think that's legitimate if there's, savings that could be had or a reasonable explanation as to why it's not happening. I think that's something we could do as far as bringing them before the committee and at least talking about that. So, okay, anything else?
So you'll have the water department and the sewer.
That's what we'll try to bring both of them in at the same time. Okay, all right, with that, I'll make a motion to adjourn. Second. And I second. All those in favor say aye. 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 And opposed, nay. The ayes have it, and this committee will adjourn at 10:31 a.m.